USCJ? It's your boy Jakeem. Really appreciate what you're doing for USC culture, man. Keep going.
Going on, shout out USCJ, man. Appreciate the support. Shout out to USCJ, you know what it is. Nothing but love, man.
Trojan Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, happy Friday to everybody. Listen, it's really go time. It's on and popping. It's on and cracking. Look, man, you guys already see what time it is with me. This is a special occasion. I believe, look, the season starts now. The next 3-game stretch, you're talking about USC, next 3 opponents. Illinois ranked number 23 in the country. Michigan's ranked number 19 in the country. And Notre Dame is ranked number 22 in the country. USC's getting ready to go on a big-time stretch that, look, we got to buckle our seatbelts. It's going to really be go time, and we got to come out and play. We got to lock in, get focused, and move and groove. But listen, everything starts in the trench play. You guys see what time it is, man. Look, win the trenches, and USC is going to be all right. I think that essentially the season starts now, and based on the fact that we get ready to go to these next 3 games, I think USC is going to move and groove, and I think we're going to continue to pick up where we left off. We're going to continue to stack days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks of just having phenomenal play in the trench play. You guys know we talked about it. Jakeem Stewart now looks like he may be coming back, and I think that's speaking like super big time for us, because you guys know, man, we can't make it without all of our guys. Teamwork makes the dream work, and all of our guys as a unit. And I talked about this before. You might not see Devin Tompkins' name getting called a lot, but he's getting double teamed. Devin Tompkins is moving and grooving to another level. Some other guys to eat. And so teamwork makes the dream work. When we see some freshmen doing it, we see Jakeem Stewart, we see Floyd Buchard, we see even Kobe Pepe getting some of this action. We see Cam Crawford now. We see Braylon Shelby. Anthony Lucas is a monster. These guys, and I believe this is probably, and you guys are hearing it from me, I believe this is the best defensive line that Illinois is getting ready to face. Like, I'm confident in his defensive line. I'm confident in his play. And so I think USC is going to absolutely pick up where they left off from a defensive line standpoint. Now, moving on to the offensive line, it looks like we may be possibly without Elijah Page. So we could possibly see the lineup where we got Justin on the left tackle, Michael Benuelas on the right, on the left guard. Keelan O'Connor will be most likely at the center, of course. Alani Noah be at the right guard spot. And then, of course, you'll have Tobias Raymond at the right tackle spot. And look, I want to remind you guys that you don't forget the Texas A&M game, we were without Elijah Page. And those guys, those same guys we just talked about, Benuelas, Tobias Raymond, Justin, they did some phenomenal things. They came out and moved and grew. We got the ball rolling. And, of course, you know, we ended up winning that Texas A&M game. So I think USC, man, is going to continue to, on both sides of the trench play, I think USC can absolutely dominate. Now, Illinois, you know, we talked about this before. We already did a brief preview, me and B. Shaw. And then, of course, you know, we bring you little news and note items throughout the week as it relates to them. But just to kind of remind you that Illinois, they allowed a lot of sacks this season, man. We told you like over 14 in the past couple of games. They had sacks against, I think, 4 allowed against Duke. And so you saw what happened last week against Indiana. And so, look, man, USC, let's put the full court press on. Let's continue to run it up, and let's continue to make the sacks. And as far as our side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball, you guys know that Michigan State, we talked about this. Michigan State was 9 in the country up until last week in holding defense and rushing. And so the fact that we put up, 295 yards against Michigan State, I think USC can have some success here. So you guys can drop the comments, man. You guys can tell me what you think. There's a couple of news and note items we want to touch on real quick. I saw something that was on Twitter, and it's a phenomenal stat. I didn't even notice that. I gotta give him credit. I don't. The fact that he has this stat up here, it's unbelievable. Let me pull it up for you, man. But this is oh, little moment. Let me put this up. Okay, here it is right here. Greg Harvey, and I'll pull it up for you real quick. Greg Harvey, he put this incredible stat. He says this. He says there is only one D1 FBS and FCS player in the listen to this player in the last 30 years that has recorded at least 1,200 passing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, a 70 completion percentage, and a 0 interceptions through 4 teams through 14 games of the season. And it's Jaden Maiava. Can you believe that? That's that. Listen to this one more time. It's Jaden Maiava. Only one quarterback in the last 30 years has recorded 1,200 passing yards, 4 rushing TDs, and a 70% completion percentage, 0 interceptions through 4 games. Now, you guys know I brought you a video up, Numbers Don't Lie. And it was comparing Caleb Williams and Jaden Maiava through the first 4 games. And you guys know we did the numbers. We had them side by side up there. Caleb Williams, I mean, incredible. The Heisman year that he won the Heisman through 4 games had just over 1,000 yards. I think it was 1,054 yards. And then you see Jaden Maiava with the 1,200 yards. And so, look, Jaden Maiava right now, he has the hot hand. And I think he's going to continue to move and groove. I think he's going to continue to stack on those passing yards, whether we have Jacoby Lane or not. We didn't have Jacoby last week. And, you know, if Jacoby's not 100%, I say hold him out until, you know, because Michigan, that's the game we want to put the full court press on. We want to bring out Michigan for that. We want to bring out Jacoby for that game. You want to bring out Alex Graham. I guess if he plays for that game, you want to bring out Elijah Page for that game. You want to bring all the guys, even B-Jack. We want B-Jack. We want to put B-Jack the battling around. Want to put him in there and move and groove as well. So if we have to keep Elijah Page out, if we have to keep Jacoby Lane out, I'm good with that. Make sure we have those guys next week, and let's have our other guys get here and eat and get ready to move and groove as well, man. So you guys can drop the comments, man. You guys can tell me what you think. And here's one thing I want to say too. And as we stated, USC is leading the country right now in multiple categories, from an offensive perspective and from a defensive perspective. We see guys all over on our team, whether it's Wayman Jordan, he's on PFF list, doing some phenomenal things. Makai Lemon on PFF list, doing some phenomenal things. Tobias Raymond is doing some phenomenal things. I even seen Michael Benuelas had a passing grade of 80. So listen, I think, man, look, USC has the personnel, and if we just match, I told you guys this a long time ago. When I did my preview, I was on a channel. I was on a Minnesota channel, and I told these guys when it comes to the Illinois game, because we were giving our preview, and I said, if you look at it for athlete, you guys go back and look at it. I can't remember the name, is slipping my mind right now, but you guys know. Shout out to them guys, and forgive me for not your podcast is not coming up in my mind right now. But I told them though, athlete for athlete. Some of you guys put it in the comment section so you can direct those guys, because I can't think of it right now, of that Minnesota podcast I was on. But I told them, I said, listen, going to Illinois, I understand it's going to be a tough game. We're not taking Illinois for granted by any means necessary. But if you look at it athlete for athlete, when I go down my D-line list, I told them, look, I told them Devin Tompkins, Anthony Lucas, Floyd Bucard, Jakeem Stewart, Braylon Shelby, Cam Crawford. When I go down the list and I look at our guys, and you got the best linebacker in the country who could possibly win the Dick Butkus Award for linebacker, Eric Gentry. When you go athlete for athlete, I think USC can absolutely move and groove. Yes, we acknowledge we got some secondary things that we need to clean up, but I think adjustments will be made. I believe if we put that pressure on them a lot and don't allow any time for Luke Altmaier, I think that we're going to be all right. I think we got to allow that pocket, collapse that pocket, and make him not uncomfortable to a place to where he can't even get the passes off. Change the trajectory of the passes and then allow some of our guys to eat. We've seen Bishop Fitzgerald make some interceptions this year. We've seen DeCarlos Nicholson make some interceptions this year. Listen, I'm comfortable. I'm confident. And I think USC is similar to a team that Illinois just played especially from an offensive standpoint, very similar. And USC has we could argue that USC has just as much firepower. But yes, it's going to be different environments. We got to stay focused in that environment, and we have to put the full court press on. How was the time difference going to affect us? Well, we flew yesterday down there, and hopefully, they wake up early this morning and get it moving and grooving. So look, man, I'm out of here, man. I'm happy. I'm excited. I feel like I said, these next 3 games, it's going to be extremely important. We got to win the trenches. We playing all ranked opponents. And I don't know. It's something about this game, man. It's like, man, I'm kind of getting antsy to the point to where, I'm almost like feeling like I told somebody yesterday that I almost feel like I can't go to sleep because this just feels massive on so many levels. Let me tell you this. The big noon kickoff is USC is going to be the first big-time game of the day. You got other big games as well, man, in the Big Ten. Don't sleep. I'm going to tell you guys this, too. I'm not sleeping on that Washington game. Washington versus Ohio State. I think that quarterback at Washington is incredible. Somebody told me about him not too long ago, and then at that point, I hadn't really looked at him. But then I went back and looked at him. I said, man, that guy is getting busy. I mean, he's really moving and grooving from a quarterback perspective. I didn't realize he was that elusive like that. And he could play. The running back, Coleman, is a baller. I like what Washington could do. So I wouldn't sleep on that. I would say that's a game that you can watch. That's to me, that's a trap game from Ohio State. A lot of people not talking about the University of Washington. And I think they can easily get tricked. And so we'll see what happens. I'm not saying Ohio State's not going to win that game, but I'm just saying that game right there could be real Mickey and tricky. So you guys can hit me on that. And the other game, Penn State and Oregon, that is a very tricky game. I didn't realize that game was a blackout game, or the whiteout game, that they're going to play that at night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So have you ever seen Penn State at night, how that game looks? That looks incredible with all that whiteout. That game, that could be an environment that maybe be tricky for Oregon. You guys can watch that game. But there's some games all this weekend, and I think USC is started off with Illinois. And so I'm saying that to say powerful, incredible games all day long. But the first incredible game is going to be USC versus Illinois. The whole country is essentially going to be watching us. Everything that we asked for is here. Everything that we've been saying that they underrated us, right? We've been saying that, nobody gives us the respect. Well, guess what? Let's go take our respect. Seriously. Let's go really take our respect and get our respect and make them understand like who USC is. And because of that, I really believe that Lincoln Riley is going to be in his bag. One more last point I want to make before I get out of here. Do you guys remember when Lincoln Riley, when we played Penn State last year, and by the way, we went overtime with a good Penn State team? Do you guys remember how we started seeing reverses? We started seeing, I think it was Quinn Joyner that ran a reverse, but we started seeing stuff like, where did this come from? I believe Lincoln Riley's going to have that same approach tomorrow. I believe that Lincoln Riley's going to have that same approach with this Illinois team. He's going to go in his bag, and he's going to get some stuff that we probably haven't seen before. Lincoln Riley has everything the weight off of his shoulders as it relates to everything we told you about, whether it's being a general manager, whether it's all the NIL, all this other stuff. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. I believe we've seen thus far a Lincoln Riley that has been very comfortable with this play call, and a Lincoln Riley that has already helped change Jaden Maiava to possibly being a high draft pick. Who knows? I mean, he's a junior. Jaden Maiava his stock has rose. And so, look, you guys will drop the comments, man. I'm excited. I'm telling you, I'm really excited about this game. It's really go time. It's only popping. It's only cracking. I'm out of here, man. Happy Friday to everybody. Until later on, listen, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.